Nicolás Maduro Moros was born on November 23, 1962, in Caracas, Venezuela, inside a working-class home built on faith, union activism, and the belief that dignity must be fought for. His father, Nicolás Maduro Garcia, was a transport union leader, a defender of bus drivers and laborers. His mother, Teresa de Jesus Moros, kept the family bound with Catholic discipline and determination. Their home carried two forces: religion for the soul and socialism for the streets. Maduro grew up in El Valle, a neighborhood of buses, markets, poverty and struggle, a place where questions of justice were not philosophical but practical. His father's death in a car accident carved a wound that became a mission: carry forward the voice of the forgotten workers. Maduro attended Liceo José Avalos secondary school, never finished university, and was never known for academic brilliance. But he had a talent more powerful than grades: the ability to organize, persuade, and connect with ordinary people. As a teenager in the 1970s, he joined underground socialist circles influenced by Latin America's revolutionary spirit: the Sandinistas in Nicaragua, Castro's Cuba, and the failed overthrow of Chile under Pinochet. Those ideas shaped his worldview. By his 20s, he was already a representative for the Bus Drivers Union of Caracas. Behind the wheel of city buses, he learned the rhythm of the streets, the pulse of anger, and the frustration that decades of political promises never cured. Venezuela, during the 1980s and 1990s, was a democracy only in name. Oil wealth existed, but inequality ruled. Corruption, inflation, and desperation defined daily life. Inside union halls, Maduro listened, debated, and protested. It was here that he first heard the name Hugo Chávez, a military officer who tried a coup in 1992, claiming to speak for the people. The coup failed, but Chávez's televised surrender speech, Por ahora, for now, gave the poor a new symbol. Maduro instantly became a supporter. When Chávez left prison in 1994 and began forming a new political movement, Maduro joined immediately. He gathered workers, organized neighborhoods, and helped build the foundations of what would later be called the Bolivarian Revolution. He traveled to Cuba for political training and strengthened alliances that would later define his presidency. In 1998, Chávez won the election, promising a new constitution and a redistribution of Venezuela's oil wealth. Maduro emerged as a loyal operator, calm, disciplined, and reliable. Not charismatic like Chávez, but strategically useful. In 1999, he entered the National Constituent Assembly, helping to rewrite the Constitution. In 2000, he became a National Assembly member, and soon its president. Chávez recognized in Maduro a dependable soldier of the revolution. In 2006, he appointed him Minister of Foreign Affairs, where Maduro quietly built global alliances, strengthening ties with Cuba, Russia, China, and Iran, while denouncing the United States as an imperial power. Western diplomats struggled to read him: rigid yet pragmatic, ideological yet patient. In 2012, Chávez fell gravely ill. Before undergoing surgery in Cuba, he named Maduro as his chosen successor, a decision that shocked many. Maduro was not a fiery populist nor a military leader. He was simply loyal. But Chávez trusted loyalty above everything. On March 5, 2013, Hugo Chávez died. Venezuela mourned, and a new era of uncertainty began. Maduro became interim president and called new elections. The campaign was fierce and emotional. His opponent, Enrique Capriles, accused the government of exploiting Chávez's death. Maduro invoked Chávez as a prophetic figure, claiming he had been chosen from beyond. In April 2013, he won by less than 2 percentage points, a razor-thin margin. But in Venezuela, power was not secured by votes alone. Control over the military, oil industry, judiciary, and state institutions mattered more. Maduro inherited all of them. But his presidency began under disaster. Oil prices crashed soon after his election, destroying Venezuela's financial backbone. With petroleum revenue gone, shortages exploded. Inflation surged into hyperinflation. Food, medicine, and basic goods became scarce. Maduro blamed U.S. economic sabotage and local elites. Critics pointed to corruption and mismanagement. In 2014, protests erupted across the country. Students demanded elections and relief. The government responded with crackdowns. Tear gas filled the streets. Dozens were killed. Maduro's speeches grew harsher, denouncing protesters as fascists and accusing Washington of covert coups. To survive, he reshaped the state itself. In 2017, he created a new constituent assembly that sidelined the opposition-controlled National Assembly. The Supreme Court, full of loyalists, approved his every move. International isolation followed, but inside Venezuela, his control deepened. Meanwhile, millions of citizens fled poverty, hunger, and repression. One of the largest migrations in Latin American history. In 2018, Maduro held new elections, boycotted by the opposition. He claimed victory with over 60% of the vote. Western powers rejected the result. In 2019, opposition leader Juan Guaidó, backed by the US and several European nations, declared himself interim president. For a brief moment, it seemed Maduro might fall. But the military never switched sides. The Guaidó movement stalled. By 2020, Maduro reasserted authority. He had survived. Under sanctions, his government turned to alternative alliances, covert oil deals, gold exports, and silent partnerships with Russia, China, and Iran. A quiet transformation began inside Venezuela. A survival economy mixing socialist rhetoric with limited market liberalization and dollarization in major cities. A new elite emerged, those with access to state contracts and foreign currency. Scarcity became power, privilege became currency. Maduro's leadership took on ritualistic form. Daily televised appearances, patriotic songs, speeches invoking God, sovereignty, sacrifice. Supporters saw a fatherly defender of the homeland. Critics saw a tired man clinging to power through force and fear. By 2021 to 2022, rising oil prices and strategic negotiations gave Maduro room to breathe. Some sanctions eased. Limited dialogues with opposition groups were staged. Yet repression persisted. Arrests of journalists, censorship of media, political pressure on critics. Silence became strategy. Fatigue replaced resistance. Globally, reactions split. Some Latin American governments restored diplomatic ties, arguing engagement was better than isolation. Others accused Maduro of human rights abuses. UN reports cited torture and extrajudicial killings. The International Criminal Court began investigations. Maduro dismissed them as imperial aggression. By 2025, he remained in power, older, heavier, wearing the same red shirt, speaking with the same certainty. The revolution that once burned like fire now functions like a machine. Bureaucratic, controlled, less ideological, but still alive. Venezuela itself is transformed. Poverty spread nationwide. Infrastructure decayed. Yet pockets of Caracas revived through dollarized trade. The nation became defined by contrast. Survival in some districts, despair in others. Maduro's true talent is not charisma. It is endurance. he outlasted protest movements, sanctions, diplomatic pressure, and international condemnation. Each year, his power appeared fragile. Each year, he remained. He learned one central law of modern politics. Legitimacy is not always built on popularity. Sometimes it is built on survival. That became his signature. To understand Maduro is to understand Venezuela. Rich in resources, but wounded by history, driven by passion, yet trapped by politics. A nation torn between justice and distrust, with a leader who embodies both the origins of its hope and the weight of its disappointment. His wife, Celia Flores, lawyer, former National Assembly president, remains a powerful figure, known by supporters as the first combatant. Their partnership reflects the Latin American tradition of politics as destiny and family as mission. Maduro still presents himself as the bus driver who became president, a symbol of possibility to some, an illusion to others. Chávez's portrait still hangs behind him during speeches. Recordings of the late leader still echo before rallies. Maduro calls him the eternal commander. Yet history will likely see Maduro not as Chávez's continuation, but as the manager of his decline. One fact remains clear. Maduro survived. He mastered the mechanics of power. He endured crisis after crisis, adjusting just enough to stay in place. Where others fell, he adapted. In his own words, "We were born in struggle, and struggle will never end." His legacy is still uncertain. But as night falls over Caracas, the former bus driver straightens his red tie, looks into the camera, and begins another broadcast. Still performing, still resisting, still waiting for history to decide if he was protector of sovereignty or architect of stagnation.